dishonor. Chris Collins was convicted of charges connected to insider trading. Chris Jacobs, a millionaire, private school kind of guy, Trump loyalist, has changed parties, voted against supporting the USPS, voted to use taxpayer dollars to pay for Trump's lawyers to dismantle the Affordable Care Act without replacement during a pandemic. McMurray travels along roads of the 8 NY23 counties, listens, knows residents. McMurray's campaign, a grassroots movement of volunteers, no corporate money, has been gathering steam. He's the perfect representative of struggling people in a distressed region because he's lived it. Carol, you know me like family, it sounds like, and I am going to frame that. Win or lose, that is something, and you're a wonderful person, and I'm grateful for that letter. And I think it's a letter that made me proud. I don't know what to say. Like it's hard to get praised like that because it makes me feel a little insecure because I don't know. It's you're raised not to take praise, I guess. But like, I won't let you down if I win, and I'm doing my best to win. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Carol. So I have Matt Miller on the line. Matt Miller, come on. Hey, Matt, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Matt, you look like Ricky Martin tonight. I like the new look.
Well, thank you.
So Matt Miller, tell us about yourself in 20 seconds or less, and then we'll go into it deeper.
Perfect. My name is Matt Miller. I'm 25 years old. I'm a working class New Yorker and a veteran of the New York National Guard, and I served as an intelligence analyst. And I'm just super pumped to be out on the campaign trail, giving people a choice for the first time in a decade for New York 131, and just really happy to be here joining you tonight.
What'd you do in the New York National Guard?
Yeah, I was an intelligence analyst.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, so
wait, you gave people IQ tests and stuff like that? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. What'd you do?
Yeah, so another term for the job that I was an all-source analyst. So basically what my job is to gather all the information that I could from any source that I could, and then look at all that data, information, or intelligence, and kind of sort it out, see the big picture, focus in on the finer details, the trends, see what's working, what's not working. And then I would have to stand in front of a general, a captain, a major, some high-ranking officer, and tell them all the information and present them a solution.
So it's a very relevant skill set you learned, and I mean that's could apply to a million jobs.
Exactly, especially being an assemblyman. I mean, as an assemblyman, it'll be my job to get all the information from any sources I can get. If I want to learn about farms and what's going on with farm problems, I'm going to go talk to farmers and the farm professionals, the Farm Bureau, get all the information, see what's working, see what's not working, focus in on the finer details, and then present those solutions for farms in the form of a bill. So that experience directly correlates to being an assemblyman.
So I gotta say to you, Matt, you got one of my all-time favorite campaign signs.
Well, thank you.
Who came up with that campaign sign?
It was a little bit of my campaign manager and myself, but it was more so my campaign manager who designed the colors and getting the lakes where they are in that corner and really trying to make it look.
I love the fact that it's the sign.
Exactly. That was what we were going for, just to kind of stand out amongst everybody else and all the other signs that we were going to see.
I love it with the Finger Lakes on it.
Exactly. It was local, and that Finger Lakes, you see it everywhere in our district. It's on mugs, bumper stickers, T-shirts, everything. So
where'd you grow up exactly?
So I grew up in West Irondequoit, which is about 40 minutes north of where I am now, Canandaigua. And then I've been in Canandaigua for over 3 years now.
And your mom and dad I've met, no offense to you, they look at the same age as you.
I hear that a lot.
They look so young. I was shocked.
They are, but they're great people.
Your mom and dad, your dad's like a fitness guru.
Yes, nutrition and fitness is all about him.
Like when you meet your dad, you're like, what is going on here? He looks like I don't know, well, he's a very fit guy. Then your mom is a teacher.
She's a nurse practitioner.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Mom.
No, it's okay. My dad used to be a teacher.
Oh, your dad used to be a teacher. Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. And they're very supportive of what you're doing.
They are. They're my biggest supporters, and they have my back, and they're helping me all along the way, both on and off the trail. So
I'm
it's
proud of
awesome.
him, and I'm proud of you for doing it.
Well,
So,
thank.
so what do your odds look like? Come on, lay it out.
We have real good odds and a real good shot. So when we first started this race a year ago, we did have an incumbent who's been there for 20 years. He was the former minority leader at the time. But some incidents have happened, and that incumbent is no longer seeking office and reelection. So now our new opponent has about the same name recognition as we do. But the big difference is we have a huge momentum of Democrats in Ontario
Let,
County, Seneca County.
let's be honest. Let's talk about what really happened. You decided to run
Mhm.
against who was the guy that was in the place before,
Brian Cole.
and he had some substance abuse issues.
He did. He was arrested for drinking and driving, unfortunately.
And when you said you're first going to run against Brian, I remember people like, he doesn't got a chance,
I know.
right?
I was telling people today in Bristol that I got a lot of pat on the heads, like, "Oh, you can do this," or "Oh,
Right.
good luck," you know. So, but hey,
And then now they're like scrambling because they're like, oh, another Republican who's ready to resign. And because, let's be honest, like it's in disgrace.
Mhm.
How many have we had in this region?
Too many.
And why are people still voting for? There's viewers there. Forget Collins. Forget Jacobs, who can't vote without making a mistake. Forget Tom Reynolds, who resigned in disgrace. Forget Chris Lee. You got this guy who resigned and about a million others. Maziarz, does that name ring? I'm sorry to get excited about this, but does Maziarz ring a bell for anybody? The guy was like loading his truck up with televisions. I mean, it's completely corrupt. Who was the guy who stole hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever and died and still got elected? Or
Oh,
do you remember?
I do know who you're talking. I forget the
I
name is
mean,
escaping me, but I do remember seeing
and
that.
people still keep voting for Republicans in this district. It's not about me hating Republicans. I
Mhm.
like Republicans, a lot of Republicans. The party establishment here is taking advantage of you guys over and over and over again. That's why I say break the machine. They are used. They wave the flag and they say God bless America and they say keep people safe and they rob you. They don't care about America. Sorry to get excited there, Matt. What do you
No,
think?
I have that same passion, and that's one of the big reasons why I got in this race is because I kept hearing, well, that's just the way it is. But the way it is for me, I just kept seeing elected official after elected official after elected official going to jail or resigning or stealing or doing something. We just need decent people like you and myself in office to kind of change this divisiveness and this corruption and just get it out of our communities.
Look, I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to steal from you, and I never stole a pack of gum, as I always say. And I just can't believe the things these people get away with. I'm shocked.
Mhm.
So I'll talk about how we met. Listen, for those who don't know, because this district is so big, and you know, gerrymandering. I mean, NY25 is the city of Rochester, minus the Republican towns.
Yep.
Okay, NY26 is the city of Niagara Falls and the city of Buffalo, minus the Republican towns, so-called Republican towns. NY27 is everything else in between. So the distance between Niagara Falls and Buffalo, that wouldn't even be one county of NY27. It's 8 counties. So you're way on the other side, which is like might as well drive into another state. It's so pretty far away. How far from here to there exactly?
From where are you
From
now?
well, I'm near Buffalo right now. So how long from Buffalo to Canandaigua?
It's about an hour and 15, hour and a half, depending on traffic.
If you're lucky,
If
an
you're
hour
lucky,
and a half. If
yeah.
you don't stop, So if you go out, go out to was 150 miles, Torn? Yeah, about 150 miles.
Mhm.
About 70 miles. I don't even know. I just know that every time I go, I got to get gas. So it's way. So Canandaigua is out there. Canandaigua is gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It
Not to
really.
say that there's so much variety in NY27. Wyoming County is more deeply rural, but it's pretty because it's mountainous almost. And you have Letchworth, Livingston County, and Orleans County are like pure farmland. Uh, Niagara is my home. It's orchards. It's Lake Ontario. It's the gorge. Um, Southern Erie County is also beautiful, almost picturesque, perfect farmland. But then you get out to Monroe County and you get out to Ontario County, and it's a whole nother thing. It's the Finger Lakes region. And for people, for some reason, when I grew up, there was like a wall at Letchworth. Like people that grew up in like Buffalo, if you passed Mount Morris, you like you like it was like a different atmosphere or something. You had to turn around and go back. Like it was a completely different world. But because I've been running for NY 24/7 for so long, I have really fallen in love with the Finger Lakes region. And I love going there. I love going to the lakes. I love swimming in the lakes. And talk about Canandaigua for a second, because I want people. I always talk about this part of the district. I talk about Niagara County, how much I love it. You talk about Canandaigua for a second and tell people how beautiful it is.
Yeah, Canandaigua and all of Ontario County is beautiful, and all of New York 131. So our district alone has 5 Finger Lakes in it, and Canandaigua is one of them. And
Call them out.
We have Canadice, we have Canandaigua, we have Cayuga, we have Seneca, and we have Honeoye, all the 5 lakes. And we also have a wildlife refuge in the top right of our district.
What's that one?
Montezuma National Wildlife
Oh
Refuge.
man, yeah, the bird refuge with the giant eagle.
Yes, yeah, but for Canandaigua, it's so beautiful because you have a nice bustling main street where you feel like you're in a downtown setting almost. But then you drive 5 minutes down the road and you get to a creamery or you get to some farmland and we get some agricultural feel. You drive
What's that creamery? What's the creamery I always go to there? What's it called?
Cheshire Creamery. It's one
Cheshire
of my
Farm.
Oh yeah.
So is Naples in your district?
It is. Yep.
Naples. For those in Buffalo who don't know, what do they got in Naples?
They got great pie.
Great pie. And it's fantastic. You can, like right now, if you go to Naples, friends and family, you get out of your car and you will smell, you cannot escape it, grapes. The air smells like Concord grapes. Literally. It's awesome.
You can even go and pick your own Concord grapes to bring home.
I do.
Oh my gosh, all the farm stands have them. I stop on a daily basis.
Whenever I go, I pick up some grapes and a pie, and I eat both by hand as I drive home. This is my technique. I don't want to gross the people out at home. I suck out the Concord grape, take the skin, whip it out the window.
Awesome. I mean, it's what you got to do. I mean, there's no other.
You're disturbed by that. Sorry.
No, I'm not. Everyone's got their own way of eating it. I just go for the whole handful and try to fit as many in my mouth as I can, because then you just get all that grape juice at once.
They're better than candy.
They're super sweet. They're super sweet.
So good. Naples is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
We have
especially right now. Right now with the trees. It's the best.
Yeah.
If everybody's listening, you got access to a car, get in a car, drive out there. And if you're on the other side, get in the car and drive out here and go check out the gorge. Those are my 2 requests to the listeners. If you're on the east side of the district, come check out the Niagara Gorge right now. Go to Devil's Hole, go to the Whirlpool. I could talk about it all day. But we're talking to Matt today, so I'm going to talk about the east side of the district. Go out to Naples. Get yourself some grape pie. I like Jenny's pies. They're good. There's a place called Jenny's Pies down there I love. If you're so go ahead. And then Seneca's great too. I love. So is Ithaca part of your district?
It is not. We only have just half of Seneca.
Top. So you have like there's a lot of campgrounds and stuff up there.
There are lots of campgrounds.
But you have Seneca Falls.
We do have Seneca Falls. Very important. Seneca
Falls is famous for being the inspiration for It's a Wonderful Life. What do they call it? They call something falls. Bedford Falls.
It's
a Wonderful Life. And the bridge, where they have a Christmas festival every single year. I've been to it twice, where people get together to celebrate It's a Wonderful Life. Have you been to that? You got to go.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's incredible. My dad actually have dragged us a bunch of times when we were younger, and we still go for fun. It's just a great time, and it's a great feel.
Tell people here what they see, what's going on there when they go see it.
When they go for the Wonderful Life?
Yeah,
they literally transform it into Bedford Falls, and all the locals and people who are like the organizers and volunteers, they dress in that old-fashioned style. I mean, you literally feel like you're transplanted right into the movie. I
have a little photograph of that bridge where he jumps off, where he tries to commit suicide, or he saves the angel. I have that photograph from the bridge, the real bridge in Seneca Falls, hanging on the wall of my house. And they have a great progressive store downtown. You could buy all your RBG gear and all your progressive Christmas ornaments. It's a pretty cool place.
It is. And then just right down the road, you can go and visit where basically the women's rights entire movement was started, and where the Declaration of Sentiments was signed, all of that. And it's
Susan B was arrested right in Canandaigua for voting illegally.
She was.
Right in Canandaigua. Man, I love NY27. The whole thing is great. I mean, I love it. I'm grateful for every moment I got to drive around this place and learn about it and meet people. Only regret I have, the only true regret I have, because I've given my soul to this, is I wish, God bless Torrin over here, has taken millions of photographs. I wish we would have just done a documentary and filmed the whole thing. Because really, truth is stranger than fiction. And the stuff that we encountered, I wish the world could have saw every inch of it. We tried to share as much as possible, but man, we could only show a fraction of what we actually went through, and the people we met and the things we've seen. And Matt, I'm sure you feel the same.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. It's wild, everything that goes on while you're running for office, but just the experiences that you have, they're so incredible. They're so interesting. They vary from all kinds of different things on the different spectrums. It's been very interesting and very fun.
And Matt, one of the things that was amazing is I met you. So when I lost to Chris Collins, I was like, oh, I give up. I'm not doing politics anymore. And I decided to keep going, or at least to share what I learned, because I was an amateur. I was a newcomer to politics. So we started doing these boot camps, and where I would give everything I learned to candidates. And I did a lot of them, but one of the best ones we did was in Bristol. And we were at the Benham's house. And for those who don't know, the Benhams live in the old carriage house from Humphrey Bogart's childhood mansion. Humphrey Bogart was a wealthy guy. He grew up in Bristol, huge mansion. The mansion is gone, but the carriage house is still there, and they turned that into their private home / bed and breakfast. And it is spectacular. Not just nice, spectacular. And the Benhams are wonderful people, and they let me host one of my boot camps there. And that is one of the new committees that started. While I've been running for office, there's been lots of new committees around the district, new Democratic committees. And they let us use their home, and we had probably 40, 50 people there. I don't remember exactly. But one of the people right in the front row was Matt. Do you remember that, Matt? Yeah.
Oh, good, right? I do. I definitely do. I remember because then I had a rally in Geneseo before that, and we went to that, and then I heard you speak, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm about to go learn from this man and see what's going to happen with this. And then you looked me right in the face and said I was going to do it. And here we are.
You were taking notes and stuff, and I was like, man, I got to do a good job. This guy's paying attention.
Oh, I was. I definitely was.
Here's the crazy thing is, there are people that came to that boot camp from across the country. Did you know that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Like the power of social media. We don't know who's watching this right now. Like this woman, we still talk to her. She still helps with the campaign. She was from Seattle. She flew into New York City and drove up to Bristol for that boot camp. And she's become a real friend of the campaign. So it's kind of amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. So what I tell everybody out there is, you want to be involved in politics? Just start doing it.
Exactly.
Right? Go ahead,
it's that simple.
So you've been doing it. Give advice to people at home. What would you tell them?
Get involved and don't be afraid to step up. Because for so long I have heard that, you have to have the power and the connections and the money and all these different things to be involved in politics and to be successful and to make a difference. And that's the biggest lie I have ever been told in my life. And it's so simple.
Matt, there are so many seats across NY27. There's only 3 Democrats running in one of the counties. Only 3. There are so many places where you should be running. And if you run, you may not win, but you will make it easier for the next person to run. And you may win. Lots of people that went to these boot camps are now serving or running, so in some
Mhm.
capacity. So like run. And Matt is one of the best examples. And Matt, you were running a great campaign
Well,
with
thank
very little resources for Matt. Matt, how can they give to you and support you if they want to?
Yeah, so they can go to mattmillerfornewyork.com and there's a donate button there. They can go on our Facebook page like that. Just keep spreading the word out. Really, is any way you can help to volunteer for phone banking. But if you just visit us at mattmillerfornewyork.com or Matt Miller for New York on Facebook, you'll be able to find ways that you can help support us by donating, signing up to volunteer, hosting a lawn sign, etc.
Top three things you want to work on in Albany.
Yeah, first and foremost is COVID relief. There's just been so much detriment to our communities, and that has to be first and foremost. But while we're doing that, we can focus on some of these important issues to help us bounce back from what's been going on with the pandemic. Climate is a huge one, focusing on our environment. Like I said before, we had Five Finger Lakes, a national wildlife refuge, so many parks. The natural beauty is something here that Democrats, Republicans, and independents want to protect. We want to protect our environment and we want to protect our lakes. Helping out our farmers and small businesses is another huge aspect, especially with the pandemic going on. Helping them out with supporting them, cutting property taxes for small farms, expanding loans for businesses that were hurt through the pandemic. And then also just community resilience is a huge one for me. That's focusing on things like mental health, the opioid crisis, homelessness, all those types of things that make our community weaker, rip us apart. We really have to face those head on because, especially with the pandemic, we all know that mental health is starting to spiral even more out of control. So
So
we
you have a
really need to,
caring, compassionate platform.
exactly. And that's what it is. We just need somebody who's going to forget about the politics of it all and be able to advocate for our region and for our communities and for our people and working families, regardless of what their party is.
And
I'm
you're not some party hack who's been waiting his time in line and say, "Oh, I want to make I want to get my new, upgrade here. I'm going to get a promotion." You're someone who's like, "No, I care about my community. I want to help my community be better."
Exactly. And that's what every politician, I mean, that's like the number one example that I learned from you, Nate, is that you just have to be a good, decent person who is going out there and fighting for every single person, no matter what, against anybody. And that's
Matt,
what
you know how proud I am to be running with you right now up on that stage. We were yesterday. Was that yesterday?
it was yesterday. Yep.
We were together in Canandaigua, and man, I've seen you blossom. You're like me. If you go back and look at old pictures of me when I first started in politics, I was like super stiff.
Yeah. I was always nervous that I was supposed to stand in pictures.
Yeah, when I first met you, when you're running, I was like, wait, where's the kid I first met? Where's the young man I first met who was so engaging? You became super stiff. No
Hmm.
offense. But now
No,
I see
I
you.
felt it.
Now you're yourself again. And
Hmm.
people are gravitating towards you and they can feel it. I can feel it. So
Hmm.
I can see you blossoming on the campaign trail. You gave a great speech yesterday. My team all loves you. And I love speaking with you at Cindy Fleischer's house. Wasn't that a great event?
That was incredible. That was so hopeful to see how many people turned out for that. Because for us, people always count rural communities and rural districts right on out for Democrats. But I'm telling you, there is a big movement happening, not just in our districts, but all across the country. And rural Democrats can no longer be counted out.
And by the way, Leah Opera, is on the line. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for coming to East Aurora today. Thank you for the others that were in East Aurora earlier today. Listen, nobody runs like us. Us, meaning me and you and the others that are running like us. We don't take anything for granted. We go everywhere. We support each other. We care about each other. We care about the people that come to our events. We are brothers and sisters in this movement to make Western New York and our country better. And I really feel that. You know it. Do you think your competitor is doing what we're doing?
Absolutely
I
not.
know. He's just going through the motions, thinking the
Mhm.
party affiliation is going to get him across the finish line. And we're going to, literally going up to people on the street and saying, "Hey," with our masks on, "Hey, how can we talk to you, dear brother? How can we make your life better?" I mean, it's such a different thing.
It is. It's a big difference of being a representative and a politician. And politicians just take everything for granted. They're so out of touch with their communities. They're not really focusing in on what's going on. They're just trying to figure out how they can win their next election. For you and I, we're representing our communities. We're literally putting our feet everywhere we can and talking to everyone. And when someone tells us they donate to us or they voted for us, I mean, I'm a first-time candidate, and now people are starting to vote absentee ballot and by mail, which is awesome. And when I hear that, like, I still don't know how to process that. It's such a
Look at it.
encouraging.
The first time I ran, I didn't even want to ask for money.
Yeah.
But because I was like, I'm here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I realize for me to help them, I need to win. So I've changed. But let me say this to you. I think you got a real decent shot, but you guys got to get out and vote for him. You got to vote for him. We can't just do it by hoping that enough of our people show up. Everybody following us and listening to this, go get 4 or 5 people and drag them out to the polls. That's the only way we're going to win. Let me put it simple. If you don't have a list of 10 people that you're going to call on election day, you haven't done your job. And I hate to be so blunt, but everybody listening should have a list of 10 people that you're going to call starting October 24th, and you're going to make sure they vote. Everybody has to have a list of 10 people. I always say U plus 2. It's really U plus 10. That's what it comes down to. Make your list. Rodney, whoever your list is, make your list and then call those people and make sure they go out to vote starting October 24th. Right, Matt?
Absolutely. Our races are going to be so close. So we need everybody to mobilize as many people as they can. I have 2 friends who go to Brockport right now, and I'm not sure if they're going to come back and vote. So I plan on driving myself out to Brockport, picking them up, literally dragging them to the Board of Elections so they can vote, and driving them right back. That's how it's so important.
It literally takes the nitty gritty of politics is getting people out to vote. Because let me tell you, tens of thousands of people will vote against us no matter what we say.
Exactly.
Just because we're the wrong party. We could have their back. We could fight for everything they believe in, but they've been, it's hard to teach people that when they've been nothing but indoctrinated to think that Democrats are bad, it's hard to change their mind. So we have to bring our people out so we can get in office. If we get in office and we do good things, then we can change their mind. But it's, so I need you to get people out to vote. Matt, I'm sorry to talk your ear off.
You're fine.
Before I go, a couple more things. Anything else you want to talk about?
Really, just for anybody who's watching and listening in, this is the moment that we can't miss. I'm 25 years old, and I'm seeing my future shrinking and shrinking as the days go on, especially with this week and everything that's been being said. And when I look at my friends in my age group, they're fleeing out of New York State. We're not sure what the environment is going to look like. We're scared for our jobs and our futures in that aspect and what's going to be going on with our lives and setting up families. So this is a moment that we cannot miss and that we have to be prepared for. We have 31 days until the election, but way sooner before early voting starts. And
Doesn't it feel good to be part of this moment, though, and doing the right thing and fighting for what you believe in?
It feels amazing. It's one of the most rewarding feelings I've ever had in my life. And I know that all of us can do this together, and we are all going to win. When Nate and I get sent to DC and Albany, it's not just us going down there. It's our whole districts. It's all of our communities are going to finally have a voice and be sent there. It's not just us who's going to win this. It's all of us.
Guys, this young man's not going to let you down. I've been watching him. I've been campaigning with him. He is a believer. He believes in Western New York. He believes in his community. He believes in you. Believe in him. Give him a chance. Man, I'm grateful for you. I really am. I'm grateful for your willingness to do this. I know it's not easy. I know we're talking about the fun and the good stuff. There's some hard times to go along with it. A lot of embarrassment. A lot of I was telling these guys not too long ago, I got hit in the chest with a flying big gulp. That didn't feel so good.
No.
So there's days like that too. But we just got to keep moving, and you're doing great, and I'm grateful to you and proud to know you.
Thank you. And I'm very grateful to you too, Nate, and your team, because without you guys, I mean, I had this thought in my head, but you guys were that final pushing point for me. And it's, it taught me that, it's okay if you lose. What's important is that you go out there, that you try, you change the conversation, you be a proud Democrat, and you just fight your ass off.
Hey, listen, can I add something to that? It is okay if you lose. Running is important because most people never even try, and you can't control the voters. But losing is terrible. Okay? Because when we lose these races, things like Chris Collins getting out of jail happen. When we lose sometimes we convince ourselves it's okay to lose. It's okay. Listen, there's nothing. There's no. You should have pride for running and fighting for what you believe in. Agreed. But when we lose, it is terrible, and it's terrible because of the consequences for our communities. I'm not willing to accept losing and saying I'm good with it because I tried my best, even though I know that in my heart of hearts. And I keep talking about this. We lose because we don't get our people out to vote. And that's not Matt's fault or necessarily my fault. It's all of our fault. We need to get our people out to vote in huge numbers. And I need everybody at home to do that for me. If you hear me getting more intense, it's because too many people tell me I'm going to vote and they don't, or I'm going to contribute and they don't, or I'm going to help you with phone calls and they don't. We need you. We absolutely can't do this by ourselves. And if we keep losing in Western New York, nothing's going to change. Right?
Right.
Thank you, sir. I got to go home.
Yeah, no problem. Tell your kid you got to spend that quality time with family. So
listen, just so you know, Matt, you mean this much to me. I was at my niece's wedding, and I said I got to go home. Everyone wanted to kill me, but I promised you I'd do this.
Well, thank you, Nate. I appreciate that.
No, I promised you. So here I am, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay? Keep your spirits high, Matt.
Of course, you do the same.
See ya.
Take care, guys.